Against Donald Trump, now facing criminal charges in an alleged scheme to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Good evening. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. A short time ago, Special Counsel Jack Smith announced 4 charges against the former president.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021, was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government.
The charges allege that Trump's actions led to the January 6th insurrection. Skylar Henry is in Washington with details on the indictment and reaction from the former president. Skylar?
Hey, Ryan and Liz, good to be with you. Well, legal experts say this third indictment against the former president includes some of the most serious charges yet, alleging criminal misconduct while he was still in office. A federal grand jury has issued an indictment of former President Donald Trump related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Special Counsel Jack Smith has charged Trump with 4 felony counts: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of or an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights.
My office will seek a speedy trial so that our evidence can be tested in court and judged by a jury of citizens.
Smith contends that Trump knowingly spread lies about the election in order to destabilize the country and spread mistrust about the outcome of the election. The indictment also states that Trump and 6 co-conspirators attempted to get Vice President Mike Pence to eject the electoral results as they were counted on January 6th, leading to the storming of the Capitol.
As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
Trump's campaign issued a statement calling the indictment election interference. Previous indictments have done little to change how Republican voters view Trump, something he has bragged about in campaign speeches.
These are ridiculous indictments, and all they're doing is hoping for massive election interference. That's all they want to do.
Trump is scheduled to appear in court in Washington, D.C. on Thursday. And as you can expect, reactions from lawmakers continue to pour in, with Trump allies calling it a double standard, this probe by the special counsel, also saying that it is an abuse of power by the Justice Department. We're here in Washington. I'm Skylar Henry. Ryan and Liz, back to you.
Thank you, Skylar. Well, the first indictment against the former president was issued back in March. A New York grand jury accused Trump of more than 30 counts related to business fraud. Then in June, federal charges were filed against the former president, accusing him of hoarding classified documents. And last week, additional charges were added to that case. Trump could also soon face charges in the state of Georgia. A grand jury there is looking at attempts to replace state electors with people loyal to him. That decision is expected no later than September 1st. And coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll speak to a political expert about what this could potentially mean for Trump and the 2024 presidential election.